Hey, Facebook, what's going on? Happy Sunday, March 1st. I can't even believe it. Crazy, crazy to believe. What an amazing day actually here too. I'm sorry if where you live it's not beautiful, but right here, I'm in this beautiful park. Check this out. Really beautiful place. I'm going to wait a moment or two. See who will join me this morning, whether it's from your couch, whether you're hunkered down and there's a snowstorm out your way, or you live in a beautiful place like where I do in Florida. So pretty here. Gosh, I don't even have a hat on. You know it's warming up here. I do have pants on still. It's probably 60 degrees. But I have to come on because I'm super inspired right now. Not only that we're in our third month for 2020, I'm inspired. I want to share with you a message, something about value. And I'm going to, oh man, it's something that comes up not only when I come out of a church service that just gives me an amazing message today, and I couldn't help but want to share it right after. In fact, right now, as I do this message, the second service that's at 11 at our church, by all means, on a side note, if you ever want to join me, if you live locally, you're more than welcome. I'd save you a seat. But I want to talk to you about what I heard this morning in a message that I try to preach to a lot of people out there, coaching clients and people who are maybe struggling with their weight and their health. And it's not just about weight on the scale, but you're way more valuable than the number that you see on the scale. And I know a lot of people may hop on the scale, maybe not Sunday, but maybe Monday morning, or maybe every day you hop on the scale and you look at that and be the determining factor of how valuable you are. And there's lots of other things, the stuff and so forth. But I wanted to share with you a message and just being around these trees, how beautiful they are, the sky, the clean air. My dog here, I'm going to show you a little picture. There's Owen. He and I just went for a little bit of a run. And so things are beautiful. I mean, if you think back, and it was really awesome about today's message because our pastor brought it back to right where it started in the beginning, right? And you can go through and even if you don't read the Bible at all, you probably have heard about the story in the beginning of the Bible, how God created all these amazing things, beautiful trees and creatures and dogs and animals and food for us to eat and fish in the sea and creatures and all living creatures and things and the sky and the sun and the moon and all that stuff, right? And he said those things were good, right? And then he created man. And he didn't just say that they were good. He said it was very good. And he created in the likeness of him. And if you think about that, going into your next week, going into your new month of March, is think of really, truly how valuable you are. Now, we can go way beyond just talking about scale weight, but I know in my world and the people that I'm around often, they're measuring their value based on what the scale says or how they look in the mirror or maybe, how healthy they are. And don't get me wrong, that isn't to say that that's not important. It is very, very important. And it has a definite value in your life. But I can just tell you, first and foremost, you are more valuable in all those creatures. You're more valuable than these beautiful trees. You're more valuable than all the living things on this earth because of this main one reason. And it doesn't matter if you are a believer or not. Just know this for a fact, that you are more valuable than that weight on the scale. You're more valuable than how much money you have in the bank account. You're more valuable than the car you drive, the house you live, the neighborhood, the park you might be sitting at. You're more valuable than the clothes that you're wearing. You're more valuable than all of those things. Please get this. Please get this one message. If you can get this right, and I can tell you it's one of the things that's completely changed the way I look at things in this world. And don't get me wrong, I love all those nice things. I love beautiful things. I like clothes. I like cars, houses and stuff. I love to have a roof over my head. But at the end of the day, or at the beginning of the month, however you want to look at it, you can look back at all your mistakes, all the things that you may find are valuable. And while they may have some value, they're not nearly as valuable as you are, yourself. What's in here? Because here's the deal. And I'm sorry that I'm not a pastor or anything, but I can tell you when I hear a message, I can't help but want to share the message back to you. And you may have heard this message, and maybe you need to hear it again, and maybe you need to hear it over and over and over again, that you're a child of God and that He created you with a purpose, and on purpose, He knit you together. He formed you. And here's the really, really cool thing about that. There is only one of you. Only one Cindy, one Debbie, one Ashley, one Marsha. There's only one of you in this world. And he took the time to not just make you good like the trees and the grass on the ground and the sky and the birds that are chirping over here and the animals that are around us and the food and the clothes and the money. All those things are good. He made you very good. And there's a difference. And the reason why he did that is because he loves you. He adores you. He wants you to know how much he loves you. And he did that because that's how much he loves and cares for you. That's the amazing thing. And I'm not going to get too deep into this right now, but I want to just share with you, especially thinking about this month, going into March, going into the new month. If you've let yourself down thinking about, and let's go back to the weight, because that's the thing, the hook that got you into this video is the weight on the scale. That doesn't define who you are. The number on the scale does not define who you are. Now, you may need to be working on it, right? Maybe you know your health is not where it wants to be, or maybe you know you really need to start looking better and looking more after, taking better care, not looking better, but necessarily feeling that you got to take more time to take care of your health. And you know that the other direction isn't well. You may have seen people that have gone the other direction. Maybe you even have some health issues right now, aches, pains, joints, maybe you're on medication, cholesterol, high blood pressure, all heart conditions, maybe you have joint problems, things related to the scale, okay? So I totally get that. It's my deal, right? In fact, you want to know more about that, you can talk to me personally and I can give you what I've learned over the years. But at the end of the day, whatever that weight says on the scale, it does not define who you are. Please get that from me. And now I'm a coach. I deal with people getting on the scale every single day, every single week, every single month, looking for the weight to change, to go down so that they can get in better shape, get healthier. That's one of the goals. People want to lose. You see me post it all the time. But even regardless of that, now I shouldn't probably be selling that you're more valuable, because then they're like, hey, why do I need to lose weight? And I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that right now, today on Sunday, March 1st, whatever you did in February, whatever you did in January, maybe you came up short in your resolutions. Maybe you didn't make any resolutions. Maybe you're failing just like you did last year and the year before that and the 2 years before that and the 5-10 years. Maybe you've been failing for the past 10 years. I want to just tell you right now that you can look at those things and seeing that being your value, or realizing all of those things, maybe things you need to look at, sure. But what really truly makes who you are valuable is you got to think of who made you right from the beginning. So look, if you're not even a Bible person, pull out the Bible, read through Genesis a little bit, just read through, just skim over it, look at it and see when God made all these beautiful things and creatures and plants and trees and food and all of the living things, and all those things were good, but then he made you. He made me and he made you, and he created us, and he said that we were created in his image. That's the amazing thing. Now, I'm not saying we're God, right? Because we're not. None of us are. And we're not perfect. But I can tell you, when we were born, he had a purpose to make us in his image. And that right there should be enough to realize whatever you feel. If you don't feel valuable right now, maybe you're in broken relationships, maybe families are jacked up, maybe your life is really completely a wreck. Maybe you need to come join me next week in church. But I would say is, even despite all those things, regardless, even how many times you failed yourself, how many times you've felt depressed and anxious and angry and bitter, and oh, check this out. All right, so look, God created these things. I'm going to share you a really cool picture of a woodpecker. Check this out. I did not plan this. Check this out. See that? Check this out. Oh, there he goes. So that's a woodpecker right there. Can you see that? See him? That's a smaller version. There's two versions, but that's a woodpecker right there. Red-headed woodpecker. I don't know. Can't remember the exact type of it. So I'm going to go back here. All right. So look, God created that. It didn't just form out of thin air. Sorry, none of these things are just like poof, there they are. When he created those good. The birds, they don't have to really, for the most part, worry about what to eat. And yet we worry so much. And he created them good, but he created us very good. So keep that in mind going into not only a new week, a new month, going into the third month of the year. If you've let yourself down, if you are really feeling not very valuable right now, if this message finds you well, I hope it does. I hope if it gives you an encouragement, it does for me. I needed to hear that message because sometimes I feel like I put the pressure or the weight of the shoulders or weight of the world on my shoulders and think that, maybe I'm not valuable enough. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm not smart enough or rich enough or have all the answers that my family needs and provides. And I can say that the message, even if you're feeling good, you can't help but have a message of worth and value. So know this, and I'm telling you this, believe in yourself, believe that there's a God who made you and put you on this earth on purpose, for purpose, and with extreme value. Extreme value. Please go into that. You are so valuable. Now, if you haven't been thinking of yourself being very valuable lately, if you haven't really been taking very good care of yourself, maybe this be the month to go into it thinking how valuable you are, because there's only one of you, and how valuable God made you. He knit you together like he was already forming you inside of your mother's womb. Just think of that. That in alone, it's something that I've prayed over my kids over and over and over when they were little. They were fearfully and wonderfully made, and that doesn't mean that they should be afraid, but they were wonderfully made. Just think of that in a moment. That's something to be, to realize how valuable, more than any, you can win the lottery and you're more valuable than that. You can have the best, you can be the most richest, wealthiest, successful business person in the entire world, and guess what? You're more valuable than that. And here's the deal. God feels that no matter you have any money in your bank account or all the money in the world, you're all so valuable. You are absolutely 100% valuable, and I appreciate you for watching and taking the time to this. And I feel if you came on here and listened to this message, that maybe it was something that you needed to hear today. And you don't have to thumbs up or like it or any of that stuff. You want to reach out to me, you want to talk about it. Sometimes I share these thoughts of mine because it helps me. It helps me in understanding my value. I think the value in hearing my message today at church was not just for me and not just for the other people in, sitting that decided to wake up and go to church today, but it was definitely meant for me to not keep it to myself. That's at the end of the day. Being a Christian, you can be a Christian and go to church, or you say you're religious and go to church and soak up the message day in and day out and day in and day out, or weekend, every Sunday you go and hear the message and you do the things, you do the deals. But at the end of the day, if you're not sharing your faith with others, I think you're really missing out on opportunities there. And I hope if you haven't heard a message of value and worth, that you are. And I might not even know you. You may have just been a new Facebook friend, but please know this. Even if you don't even feel that you have that value yet or know what it looks like, I believe that you are valuable. One thing right now, Kimberly and Paige and Dan and Gregory and Kristen and Carla and Marcia and Ashley and Debbie and Cindy, just so you know, I believe God is talking to me, and he wants me to say how valuable you are, Cindy, and how valuable you are, Debbie, and how valuable you are, Ashley, and how valuable you are, Marcia, and how valuable you are, Carla, and Kristen, how valuable you are, and Kimberly, how valuable you are, and Paige, how valuable you are, and Dan, how extremely valuable you are, and Gregory, how valuable you are. You are valuable. You are definitely something that if you don't know it now, please go into your day today, go into your month, go into your week. Maybe you even need hour by hour reminder of how valuable you are. You can look at all of the beautiful things, and listen, if you have a phone and you're watching this, you have things in your life, right? You have access to stuff. There's all those things. Those are all good, and they may be valuable. Of course, it's valuable to have a house and a bed to sleep in, and probably money to pay your bills and a car to get you to work. And, if you have a family and kids, who maybe listen to you a little bit here and there, but at the end of the day, those are all valuable. But guess what? You're even more valuable than all those things. So that's all I'm going to leave you with today. I hope you have an amazing, blessed Sunday. Sorry, I had to make sure the day's right. Sunday, an amazing, blessed first day of the month.